Hey guys, I'm Charbria Shine. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want to talk about why it's so important to know what you want. And I'm talking about in a dating relationship, in a future potential husband, wife, because it is so important, because I feel like when you don't know the qualities that you're into or the qualities that are important to you, when it shows up, you won't recognize it, right? And it's so important to also know what you don't like, right? Because when that shows up, no matter how cute they are, the job or money they have or the status they have, you'll know like, okay, these are things that I'm not looking for or I really don't want in a future spouse. So I'm not, gonna entertain this relationship. And so it is so important. And I know we always talk about you need a list, the infamous list. And I feel like it has a negative connotation for some and some are into it. And I feel like I could see it from both perspectives. But I will say within my Dating with Intention course, I do have one that talks about the list. Because I mean, how can you know if you've prayed for something that it has shown up if you don't even know specifically what you've prayed for? And so when I think about that, I'm like, it's so important. And as you guys know, I'm married. And yes, I did have a list. And it did get lost after a while, but I found it. And then as I matured and grew, I adjusted some things on that list. So I do think it's so important to do a self-assessment and to say, who am I as a person? And again, I do have this in my Single and Satisfied workbook, but you can do this on your own as well. But we have an activity, a self-assessment, because you have to know who you are. It's so important to know, like, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? And being real with yourself, because we like to paint a great picture of ourselves. But truly, who am I? What am I great at? What am I not so good at? What are some qualities that I want in a future spouse? As far as maybe looks, as far as maybe spiritual, religious beliefs, maybe their personality, common interests and values. And, those are some really important, just foundational things that you want to find out. So write down those things. And again, if it shows up, and you don't know what you want, you may not recognize it. So it is so important. Now you might be saying, Charbria, I really don't know what I want. You might say, but I know what I don't want. Okay, that's okay too. Write that down. Like, I do not want this, that, and the other. Like, for example, for me, I had a list, as we know. And for my workbook activity, I have negotiable and non-negotiable. So I feel like some things on your list, you should leave room for God, because some things, it should be negotiable. But I also believe that God puts values and boundaries and standards in your heart, obviously as well in the Word of God, where some things that for you, you're like, that's just not negotiable for me. So for me, a non-negotiable category on my list, because again, I had negotiable, non-negotiable, was a man of God, a Christian man who loved Jesus. That was non-negotiable for me. Negotiable could have been like race. He didn't have to be a certain race or ethnicity, right? Something that was non-negotiable, I wanted someone drug-free and did not smoke. And again, some people may not mind smoke. For me, I was like, yeah, that's non-negotiable. So you have to know what you want, okay? And again, if you don't know what you want, know what you don't want. And then you might have that person who's like, I have no clue. I just know that what I've been getting just don't seem about the right. And that is okay as well, right? But you just want to make sure that you put that list before God. And you might say, I don't know. So ask God, Lord, I don't really know what I desire. Show me some godly examples. Show me some great examples of men or relationships or in your word. Show me some things that I should desire. And I think for most of us women, there are some basic things that we desire, like love, respect, to be honored, right? Cherish, faithfulness, friendship. Those are some basic things. You want to have fun and enjoy doing things with that other person. You want to have an attraction to them, right? And again, some of these things may change. You may have had on your list a certain type of man physically, the type of man you're attracted to, and then God brings another type of man in your life and you develop a friendship with him and then you fall in love with him. So again, it is so important to know what you want, but it's okay if you don't know everything. And it's also very imperative that you leave room for God to move. Because my list, my husband is majority of everything. There's a few things that were the negotiables that he's not, and that's okay, because once I met my husband, I was like, oh my God, that is amazing. He's so amazing. And then some things will develop as time goes on. You'll begin to see qualities that was on your list that you're like, oh wow, I didn't see that at first, but it's developing. And again, that's when you wait on the Lord for that spouse and you pray and you lift your list up to him and he will direct you. He will guide you. So don't be discouraged about this infamous list. Okay, just know that, it's so important to know what you desire, and God has that for you. So again, I love you guys. Hopefully I said something that encouraged you. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe below, share with a friend, and make sure you turn on your notifications so you do not miss anything. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.